Oh man, it's time to podcast again. And on such short notice, even if I wanted to podcast, my schedule wouldn't allow it. Let's see. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger, tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I'm booked. Of course, if I bump the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I talk about? Hello and welcome back to the Cozy Christmas Podcast. I'm your host and world's tallest elf, Art, and today I'll be talking about the 25-year-old anniversary of one of the greatest Christmas movies ever made, The Grinch, starring Jim Carrey. That's right, I said it. I've been surprised how many of my guests this year have brought this film up and talking about how much they love it. And I heard a episode recently, I think it was either October or November, on Can't Wait for Christmas, and Tim Babb, as we all know, is the host, and he talked about this film with such fondness and passion and love that I decided I needed to get him on the show today to talk about this film. And so I'm really excited to have Tim Babb on. His podcast was one of the first podcasts I listened to, Christmas podcasts, and he's just a wonderful, funny guy. I can't wait to talk about this movie, so I'm going to go ahead and run over to California here and pay a visit to Tim Babb from the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast as we talk about the wonderful How the Grinch Stole Christmas. My guest today is a first-time guest on the podcast, sort of. His name is Tim Babb. He's the host of the Tim, I just blanked on your podcast.
Can't Wait for Christmas.
Can't Wait for Christmas. Wow. I need more sleep is what I need. And a couple episodes ago, we had Tim on, sort of, because he sent me a clip with an interview he did for the for his Christmas podcast day, talking about Merry Christmas, George Bailey, with the producer and an actor from the original film. So I refer to you there as my roving reporter, Tim.
Nice.
And so it's nice to have you back in person on the podcast. So welcome.
I'm like Kermit the Frog in that way. Hi ho! It's a cozy Christmas news flash.
Yeah, just for copyright purposes, that most definitely was not Kermit.
For sure.
Yes. Well, I have been a listener to your podcast since I discovered Christmas podcasts. I don't know how long ago that was now, 30, 40 years ago.
Feels like it.
Right. But you're celebrating 10 years this year, correct?
That's right. This year is the 10th anniversary of me starting the podcast and thinking, I wonder if anybody would want to hear me blather about Christmas 12 months a year. It turns out a few people do, and that's enough to keep me going for a decade.
That's right. So you have one of the oldest ones in our little group. And could you just go ahead and tell us a bit about why did you get started with a Christmas podcast? What led you to do that? And we'll learn a bit more about the man behind the microphone.
Well, I do apologize because I believe I've told this story before, but for those who haven't heard it, there was one Christmas. It was not long after my first son was born, and I was working 3 jobs at the same time. And I had worked 5 days a week for one job and then had 2 days off. And so those 2 days off, I worked another job. And then when I was home from both of those jobs, I was doing like a work from home thing before it was cool. And then I was also doing stand up on the side of that, and all of this was during like late November through Christmas. And
Mhm.
I felt like I completely missed Christmas that year. Like I think we put the lights up on the 23rd, maybe the 24th. And then the 26th, we got on a plane and went somewhere else. So I feel so like a lot of it just got ripped right back down before we left. And I just felt
Mhm.
like Christmas passed me by. And I was like, I need more Christmas in my life. And then I was like, you know what? The podcast space is where people talk about things they're oddly obsessed with. I could do a podcast about Christmas and that could exercise that demon. And so that's why I was like, well, I'll just do that and see if anybody cares. And so people did, amazingly enough.
Yeah, yeah. Man, it must have been 8, 9 years ago. I was looking for that same fix. There's got to be people talking about Christmas on a podcast. And I didn't find that many, to be honest. I know Christmas Past, I think, also just was out 10 years more
Hmm.
or so now. And then, of course, yours. And I think Tis the Podcast was,
Somewhere around the same time. I feel like they started not long after I did.
I found those, but there wasn't a whole lot. There's even a guy who was, I can't remember what, the Christmas Stocking. I think his was even older. And
Yeah, his
for-
predates mine.
yeah. And now you go looking for a Christmas podcast and happily you can find you have enough where you can be discerning, oh, I don't care for that, or I like this, and what I like about yours is it really covers a lot of topics. It has a lot of fun segments. I mean, you even made a Hallmark action movie last was it last year?
Oh, it was
Or-
2020 when
oh,
everybody was locked at
2020.
home. And I
Okay.
said, you know what, listeners, we're trapped at home. Let's put on a show. And I decided to see what it would happen if you combined a Hallmark movie and a Die Hard movie into a one movie. And it was called The Bomb for Christmas. And to celebrate both the 10th anniversary of the podcast and the 5th anniversary of that movie, got a sequel coming out. It actually, by the time this is out, probably the first couple acts are out. It's called
Hmm.
The Bomb for Christmas 2, Past, Present, and Future, which is what if you combine Die Hard 2 and A Christmas Carol in the same movie? No one asked, but we're answering that question anyway.
That's a very specific question.
And it's just a lot of fun to like because like doing a podcast, as you know, is just your
Mm.
own voice and you're just sort of like you edit yourself. But like editing a movie is like I have all these different. Some of them are listeners, some of them are other podcasters. One of them is an actual actress who's been in Hallmark movies, and like just to get to piece together like this puzzle, and then like they've never met each other, but now they're interacting, and like it's just it's a very rewarding experience. That like I wrote it, but then like they say it in a way that either is exactly how I picture it in my head and it's perfect, or completely different. And then like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. It's great. And so anyway, I really look forward to people hearing it because it's been a lot of fun to put it together.
Yeah. Time has no meaning anymore because I could have sworn that was only a couple years ago. Uh, which brings us to our movie today. You had an episode on a couple months ago where you talked about The Grinch and how it's not a popular opinion, but you love that film and talked a bit about it, and it was celebrating 25 years. My first thought listening to it was, oh, I think similar to yours. Oh, I saw that when I was a teenager. I loved it, and then I realized, no, I was an adult when I first saw it. In fact, I was married when I first saw it, and I was still an adult then, and that was 25 years ago. That can't be right.
Yeah, I was similarly like because I associate Jim Carrey with like my high school years because
Yeah.
like Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, those were all while I was in either junior high or high school. Nope, nope. That had to be all high school. Depressing. Anyway,
Yeah. Mhm.
uh, but then like so I just lumped Grinch in with that. I'm like, oh no, Grinch was like 5 years later.
As many know, Jim Carrey plays the Grinch in this movie, and I don't think this movie would be anywhere near as good if he weren't the main character.
True. Not unlike when he was in Batman and Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Like the movie would have been okay. Like it becomes a Jim Carrey movie once Jim Carrey is the Riddler, or in this case, Jim Carrey's the Grinch.
Hmm.
Like his own zaniness, uh, and it happens to fit well with the Seussian uh of Seussness of it all.
Yeah,
Where
right, right. And looking just at his career at that point, even he, I mean, he was riding high. Can you think of any actor who's had such a like a 1, 2, 3 punch of like Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber? And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, and then I think he did Batman after that. So like he had
Hmm.
just a string of like solid hits. And
Right.
I think like he got like it was like an incredibly high demanding salary demand at the time, like 20 million per movie. I can't remember what it was,
Hmm.
but like at the time it's just like for a comedy actor that is crazy.
Right. Right. And nowadays, it's probably pretty common, such as
Yeah.
inflation.
Yeah, you just get that for walking by the studio.
Right. Right. Well, I'm in the wrong line of work then. I mean, I really have to dust off the corridors of my memory here to even remember what my first impressions were. Like, did I see it as a trailer in a movie, at the movie theater or what? I don't actually remember, but I remember seeing that and being very excited. Like, even before I saw the film, I just knew this was going to be something I was going to really enjoy
Hmm.
because I was a big fan of Jim Carrey. I was seeing 2000. So yeah, I got married. My wife and I, we were married in May of 2000. So I would have been married by that point and maybe still wanting to in some way cling to my childhood just a little bit longer.
I mean, your marriage is celebrating 25 years this year.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, it's too late. Like the anniversary already passed. I hope you already did something.
Yeah, we sort of did. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
we didn't do anything terribly exciting yet, but we yeah, we like to joke we got married then so I could always remember how many years we've been married. As long as I can
Smart.
remember what year it is, we're good. But yeah, what were some of what's your first impressions of the film and your history with it? Was it instantly a hit or did it grow on you?
Oh no, it was instant. I liked it instantly. I don't when I was doing research for my episode, I found out how much marketing push was being done about it. So I don't remember it, but I'm sure it must have just been like bombarding me at the time, like
Mm.
go see the Grinch movie, go see the Grinch movie. And if memory serves, my mom and I always, I mean, I know this part is true. My mom and I always went to go see like at least one or two movies on Christmas Day. Like we'd open the presents, we'd
Hmm.
do stuff, and then we'd head out to the movies. And I remember one year we saw three movies in one day. So I know we had to have seen this. I had to have seen this with my mom on Christmas Day. And so that that's always a good memory for anything.
Hmm.
I doubt my mom liked it as much as I did, but I'm
Yeah.
sure she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, no, actually, I remember going to watch it the other year, and she's like, I don't remember ever seeing this, but that
Oh,
doesn't mean she hasn't seen it. It means she doesn't remember.
now see, that sounds a bit like my wife. Sorry, sweetie, if you're listening. Like, have we seen this before? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my
Uh,
wife she's seen the Harry Potter movies millions of times, not millions, many times, as we all
yeah.
have, because my oldest really loves them, but we'll watch them again, and she'll be like, "Wait, what's about to happen?" And we were like, "Not only have you seen this movie before, you've read the books you know what's gonna happen." She's like, "I don't remember."
Yeah. That I don't know if it's something that we just lose part of that or what. I don't know. That ability to remember. But as I mentioned, one of the things that really works for me in this film is the Grinch itself. And
Hmm.
if he doesn't work, this film flops.
For sure.
It's about him. The costume designed by Jim Baker, who's a
Rick Baker.
multi-Oscar, or I'm sorry, Rick Baker. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Um, a multi-Oscar winner. He puts together this costume that one of the problems I have with prosthetics is it often limits the actor's ability to emote. You
Yes.
you get those like TV shows or movies where the actor ages really fast. They put all the makeup on and it's like they're just kind of frozen.
Yeah.
Before CGI, before all that, they are able to model this costume and effects that really enable Jim Carrey to do what he does best, which is make stupid faces in the mirror.
Right. Like if you've seen him in interviews, like he'll do the face without the makeup, and you'll see it. You're like,
Yeah,
wow. So that had to be extra hard for Rick Baker to like, okay, like I gotta glue all this stuff to his face, but I gotta let his face do that.
right, right. And that's part of what was just incredible to me too is that he's able to do that. I have wondered if today, if they made the movie today, if they would have just made him CGI, put him in the motion capture
Oh, a thousand
suit.
percent.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like the Kelsey Grammer character Beast in the third X-Men movie, who recently showed, spoiler alert for a movie you all should have seen but didn't, The Marvels. He shows up at the end of that and he's
Mhm.
just completely CG. And I know Jim Carrey was asked about like if there's any of his old movies he'd like to do a sequel to, and he's like, now with CG technology, I'd love to do The Grinch without having to be in that costume, put that makeup on for 4 hours every day.
Right. Because, famously, I think many know, even if they haven't researched the movie, that Jim Carrey had almost, I mean, really a traumatic experience being in that costume.
Yeah, they had to hire somebody who teach CIA operatives how to withstand torture to
Mm.
help them to deal with being in the costume because he said it was like being buried alive.
I think I would have enjoyed being in that costume. I'm like the opposite. I like close, confined spaces.
Oh,
I do,
okay.
it makes me feel comfortable and relaxed and like I'm ready to sleep. So,
I'm sure I would have enjoyed it once. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it 100 times because he said
yeah,
that's how many times he had to put the Grinch makeup on for shooting this movie.
yeah. And just the long hours sitting in the makeup chair would probably drive me crazy.
Mm. And this was before smartphones, so you couldn't just be sitting there, playing Angry Birds or whatever. You had to sit.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe this is TMI, but as soon as I got into the costume, I'd be like, I need to use the restroom, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got to do this over again. But yeah, I rather than just going, through the plot itself, I think we all know the story of the Grinch, and from that perspective, the movie pretty much follows the pattern. The Grinch hates Christmas. He wants to stop it from coming. He steals Christmas or tries to, and Christmas comes anyway. And what I think is a little unique about this movie, though, is that the citizens of Whoville that need that Linus moment as well, because they've kind of been caught up in the whole corporation and greed and commercialism of it.
Exactly. Like they are on the other end of missing the point of Christmas. Like the Grinch is like, I just don't like Christmas, so I'm not dealing with it. They're like, I like the trapping. I like the Who's are like, I like the trappings of Christmas so much, I'm missing the point of Christmas.
Right, right. And it's probably best not to think too hard about how did Christmas get started in Whoville. You might get struck by lightning or something. I don't know, but uh, but but yeah, and that's part of the message that could have felt dated, but even today, if you look at just society, it still has a message for today. If you want to get, serious for a moment, that we can still miss the point of Christmas, get caught up in the activities or keep people at a distance because, for some reason, whether we've been hurt or they've driven us angry or whatever, we can miss that connection at Christmas time.
Which is funny because it's yet another example of a film with that message of like, don't get lost in the commercialization of Christmas. That itself, like the Grinch was commercialized to like it was at the theme parks, there was merch, there was like food, like
Yeah.
I think they were green Oreos or something like that. Like there was so much merchandise around this movie telling you, hey, don't, don't get obsessed with the commercialization of Christmas. And you're like, wait, pick a lane, Grinch.
Right, exactly. But you got a $20 million actor to pay. You got you got to make your money.
Good point. Good point.
Obviously, anyone who's seen it, one of the things that stand out for me are just all the times that Jim Carrey just kind of goes off and does his own thing. I was going to ask, do you have any favorite quotes from the film, short of just quoting the whole film?
Well, I love his outgoing answer machine message that he checks. Like
Hmm.
if you utter so much as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. If you'd like to fax me, press the star key, which is
Yes.
completely dated now. Like, no, well, fax
Right.
you? What? But I
Right.
just love it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And in fact, that almost still works because the Grinch kind of feels like somebody who would still have a fax machine.
Good point, because he found it in the trash and he's just still using it.
Right. One man's trash is another man's potpourri. I love the part that you're wearing on your shirt right now, the his schedule.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I made the shirt because I also love that part.
Yes. This movie I quote year round. There's always seems like there's something that happens where a quote from the Grinch comes in handy. Specifically his schedule rant he goes on. Oh man, just trying to narrow it down, like what,
When
what
the
the,
taxi passes him by, it's because I'm green, isn't it?
oh man, first time I saw that, I swear I coughed up a lung. That was like a pretty shocking joke back then,
Yeah,
at least.
there are a couple of jokes. I didn't talk about this on my show. I mean, I don't know how much we want to go into it. I know this is a family podcast as well, but like, there's a party going on, and all the couples are putting their keys in a bowl. I'm like, I know what that means.
Right, right. Actually, that took me like two or three viewings before I actually realized what they were doing. Because
Oh,
I don't know
someone
if,
had to, yeah. So it had to be pointed out to me years later. Like I definitely didn't get it as a kid, which I guess is what they were going for. Like this is just gonna shoot over. Like at the time, I was like, oh, because they might be drinking and driving, they're taking their keys. That's just smart. I'm like, oh wait,
right,
that's not what this is at all.
right, yeah, yeah. Well, one of the features of the Grinch, he has a dog, Max. Again, this dog steals the scenes he's in. He's an excellent dog actor.
Yes.
There's a new horror movie out this year that is featured from the point of view of a dog, and they were talking about what a great actor this dog was, and I'm like, well, yeah, but Max, he was even better.
You're good, kid, but you know Max.
That's right.
Max had the stuff.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I love the kind of fourth wall breaking, self-awareness things where he's like, oh, I'm speaking in rhymes,
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, we could chat all night about all of our favorite lines. I often at dinner, if we're eating something, I'll be like, "Who wants the gizzard?" And one of my kids will inevitably say, "I do."
Too late.
Yep, exactly. Good times, good memories on this movie. Now, have you shown it to your family, to your boys? Do
Oh,
they
for
do they like
sure.
it? Yeah.
They do. Yeah, I think they like the new Benedict Cumberbatch one better, but they
Hmm.
definitely like. I mean, with the Sonic movies bringing Jim Carrey back into the lives of this generation,
Hmm.
it was good to find. Like, I was able to be like, okay, well, here's Jim Carrey and other things, and this was one of them. And I think they were like, oh, like they definitely liked it.
Yeah. I've also, shown it to my kids. I think my wife tolerates it. She likes it. My boys just love it. We are quoting it to each other all year. And then my daughter now, Grace, she has gone on record saying that she likes this one and even the Benedict Cumberbatch one even more than the original animated TV special.
Yeah,
Which is a very controversial opinion, but I will support that wholeheartedly.
I think as generations go and we keep showing the media where like everything is just cut, 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 like the takes are not they don't let a take breathe anymore. Like if you watch any of these kid shows, like they're not on any one scene for longer than like 2 3 seconds. Like it's cut, 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 cut. So then you show
Mhm.
them something from back in the 60s, 50s, 70s, whatever, where it's like it takes its time and breathe. They're just like, I have lost patience for this. Like the Grinch needs to be jumping, dancing, doing something like cut, cut, cut. And
Yeah.
so I just think as we go on, people are going to sort of lose their appreciation for older movies like that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, I struggle watching old films even. I know some would say, well, you're old, but uh, movies from like the I always look at it from like Indiana Jones and on. I like or Star Wars and on. Kind of so like that's like the dividing line there, you know.
Hmm.
It's like it's those older ones with a few exceptions. I really struggle. There's like things like the old way of acting. I just I don't like it. It seems a little too dramatic, you know, or too intense.
Hmm.
I don't know. So yeah, I might have just broken my brain on stuff. Who knows?
I mean, I was fortunate. My mom raised me on a lot of older movies, so I'm huge into the Marx Brothers, and that I mean
Mm.
that those are some of the oldest movies you can get. Not the oldest, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
They are not new, and but I just love their comedy and like their rapid delivery makes up for the fact that the you know like the camera work isn't the most uh dynamic. You know, like
right,
they just sort of set the camera down. Other than that's what they mostly did back in those days. Like just set the camera down, the actors walk into frame, they say all the lines without falling down, good, cut, print, it's the movie.
right. But yeah, I mean, the Marx Brothers are hilarious. I do. There's a couple of like Christmas Carol from 1951. I enjoy watching, but even then, some of the acting, I'm like, oh, I can't handle it. It's so different from today.
Yeah, there's a certain affected voice that was back there, like, ah, I see what you're saying to me is that this is the thing. It's like, what are you doing? And why do
Yeah,
so many of you have? Wait, what country is that accent from?
right. Yeah, that's it exactly. Now, is this a movie you watch every year?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless we run out of time, because like
Mm.
they'll be like, you know, we didn't get to it, but it's definitely one of them on the list of like, okay, well, this is one we're gonna watch this year, unless we, you know, like I don't know if this happens to you, just you just like
Hmm.
we've run out of nights. It's Christmas and we haven't watched like I can think of like 15 different movies that we didn't get to yet.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've of course we'll watch Christmas movies after Christmas, you know, in that
Fair enough.
kind of that week between Christmas and New Year's even. There's been a few years where that's really the only time we've had to watch movies.
True, because that's when you really get the time off.
But yeah, this is one I will take a night off work if I have to watch this, you know. It's like my top three, which you know, if I were pressed, I would say it's this version of the Grinch, and then the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, and
Mm,
then Elf with Will Ferrell, which
definitely Elf, yes.
you know, 10 years ago I would not have said. I don't know how old that movie is actually, but
Oh, it's
it's
definitely
probably
older than 10 years.
yeah, yeah. That was one that grew on me. Like my kids first watched it, and I had I didn't really like Will Ferrell. He's a lot, and this is coming from a guy who likes Jim Carrey. So. But I saw it and I suffered through it. And at first I started joking. It was like a Stockholm syndrome, you know? It's like being forced to watch it. But then I actually gave it a fair shake and I'm realizing hey, this is actually pretty funny. And anyway, giving it a fair viewing, I actually like this is actually pretty good. And it's grown on with us as one of our family favorites. So, you know, any given year, those are the three that we like must watch. If we have time for nothing else, we have to get to those.
In Elf, Zoe Deschanel has a similar unenviable task of pretending to be in love with this ridiculous protagonist that Christine Baranski does in the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. Like, she sells it, but you're like, how could you possibly have fallen for this big green weirdo? Like,
Right.
set aside the greenness for a bit. He is weird.
Right.
Like it's very entertaining for us, the audience. But if that was my life partner, forget it. Absolutely not.
Right. Right. You know, with the Grinch, it's like, well, you know, I hope you like hairy men, you know, that air's gonna get everywhere.
Stock up on liquid plumber.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
drain's gonna be clogged.
Yes. Some of the other versions, you know, do you have you seen and do you like the like Benedict Cumberbatch version?
I actually really enjoy the Benedict Cumberbatch version. And I think they
Hmm.
both had a similar thing of like, look, we need to make Cindy Lou Who a whole separate character to sort of flesh out this story more.
Hmm.
Uh, which is funny because in the book, she is no more than two, but in both this movie and the Benedict one, like she is clearly a little kid
Hmm.
and like so diverging from the source material both in similar ways to be like, look, we need a hook for the kids to be like, okay, this is my POV character. And yeah, I think it works both movies very well.
Yeah, and I always say it depends what I'm in the mood for is which version I'll watch. Jim Carrey's he's got the sarcasm, the manic energy, all that, and the animated one, he's more and Grace actually liked that one for quite a while because she liked that the Grinch didn't seem as mean as he did, in the other two films.
Oh, true, true.
And that she liked that he was a little nicer to his dog. I mean, not much, but a little nicer. And she liked the scenes with the reindeer or whatever that creature was, um the big reindeer antler
Oh, right, right,
animal.
right, right, right.
I can't remember even now. I've only
Well, I
seen
know
it a
there's
few
a goat
times,
that
but
yells, but I don't think
yeah,
that's who he was hanging out with.
yeah, it wasn't the goat. It is the critter that snorted the whipped cream up his nose. I'm not going to be someone who says you have to watch the TV special and only that's the only Grinch. I have a lot of room in my heart for multiple Grinches, so it's it's grown three sizes.
And that's the one like you're like, oh well, we only have a half hour. We can watch the TV Grinch. We can get
Hmm.
we can get one like that's the one when you're like when time is hectic and you can't fit a lot in the day. That's where you plug in your Charlie Brown Christmas or your
Hmm.
Grinch, where you're like, we can get in there, we can get out of there, we get some Christmas joy, and yeah, and Boris Karloff, Thurl Ravenscroft, you can't beat it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm often not able to put like a movie on in the background and then do something else. Like if the TV's on, I pay attention to it, which is probably bad, but
Yeah, I had the TV on constantly when I was a kid, so I can easily block it out.
okay.
I think that my poor TV when I was a kid must have been exhausted. Like, don't you guys ever turn me off?
Yeah, and I know people like that, and it's hard to carry on a conversation for me when the TV's on,
Yeah,
and
my wife is the
I
same
oh
way.
oh it drives me nuts.
And she'll be the one talking. She'll be like, I need to see the
Right. Yep.
hello, hello, you were talking to me.
Yep.
Stop looking at that Hallmark movie.
You know what happens.
Exactly.
Um, Now, going back to Jim Carrey a little bit, he also played Ebenezer Scrooge in Disney's Christmas Carol. Have you seen that, and what do you think of it?
I saw it once and I was like, oh, this is more impressive than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
I don't know what I like. I guess because there wasn't a ton of fanfare around it when it came out, or at
Mm.
least there's not a lot of acclaim. Like it didn't get a lot of like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to go see this. So I was like
Hmm.
really surprised at how good it was, and like it's kind of dark in places,
Hmm.
but also falls into the same trap that the Polar Express did. I know they were both Robert Zemeckis, where
Hmm.
there's always he always needs to put in scenes in his animated movies where a character is trying to grab something that's just out of reach and it keeps falling away, and like that's always his go-to. Like this will create some visual dynamics. It's like how many times can you drop something?
Well, I drop a lot, so
Yeah, but like drop it and then
no,
almost catch it and almost catch it, and now it's a
right.
3 minute sequence. It's like come on,
Yeah,
man, just get back to the story.
yeah. Now, yeah, Polar Express is one of my kids' favorite Christmas films,
Oh yeah, it's a
and
good one.
and I like it. I think visually and everything, it's beautiful. The Christmas Carol one, I was really excited about. But I've only seen it once, and I actually think I need to revisit it because I've heard some recently say that it's one of their favorite versions, and I'm like, really? Okay. My problem that I remember with it being is not so much that uncanny valley of the CGI people. I that doesn't bother me so much. I've seen some things, they don't bother me. Um, but it's more of the scenes like you're saying that grabbing for things. It's the scenes that were filmed very clearly for 3D. Like this is a 3D film.
Oh
Look,
yes.
look what we're doing. And like the whole Ghost to Christmas Present, they never leave their house. So it's like he's seeing it like he's on this roller coaster ride in from his room. And I try not to be a purist when it comes to adaptations, but that one, it's like, part of the Ghost of Christmas Present is he's out among the people. He's present with them.
Oh
And not
yeah.
just passively watching these scenes unfold. But then, like, the whole thing was done too to be really cool in 3D, which was a trend I'm glad has probably faded for the most part.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but the 3D glasses always gave me a headache. So,
My problem is 10 minutes to into every 3D movie, I completely stop noticing it's 3D.
oh yeah.
Like until something like because like most of them don't do gimmicky things anymore. So it's like like so I remember people were like, "Oh, Avatar, you've got to see Avatar in 3D. The 3D was made for Avatar."
Mm.
Again, 10 minutes in, I was like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, I've completely stopped noticing that it's 3D, and I'm just watching a regular movie. I'm not really even thinking about it or noticing it or appreciating it. 3D technology is perfect for those little movies at Disneyland. Like, let me see. Let me see A Bug's
Hmm.
Land. Let me see The Muppets. I guess it's Zootopia now, and the Muppets are gone. Captain EO. Oh, that's also gone. I guess it's no longer a thing.
Yeah, I remember trying to watch Avatar. I didn't watch it in theaters. I saw it at home, and it wasn't in 3D, but it triggered a migraine. And I was like, so I haven't cared about any of the sequels.
Yeah,
Like I don't,
I resisted seeing it in theaters. I'm like, I don't really care. People are like, oh my, it's so visually amazing. I looked at it. I'm like, Pixar does that every year. I don't know what you're talking about. And
yeah.
then they re-released it in 3D because it was nominated for an Oscar. I'm like, fine, I'll go see it. And I was like, I was right. And then I have not seen the rest of them. And my kids are so uninterested. We took them to Disney World this year, and we took them on the Avatar land. And they went on the Avatar ride. And they're like, oh, this is
Mm.
cool. I'm like, well, there's two whole movies of this. We're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, we are certainly coming in with hot takes here today. That's what I'm all about. And then we also I wanted to bring up the actress who plays Cindy Lou in the Grinch, Taylor Momsen. She's recently had a couple of Christmas songs come out. Obviously, she's not the little kid in the movie anymore. I guess she is a still an actress in a few things, but she's also is it like punk rock and roll kind of thing
Yeah, she
or
sort of got she when she got old enough, she just stopped doing acting because she's like, I didn't really like this. Like she's come back
mm,
for a couple I think it wasn't Gossip Girl, but it was some show like that where she was in it, and then like they had some sort of reunion, and she came back. But yeah,
mm.
now she fronts a punk rock band, and they this year for the 25th anniversary, they put out a Christmas album, and Where Are You Christmas? She recorded a new version of it, like a punk rock version of it, and I gotta say, as the kids say, it slaps.
Yeah. Last night I listened to the album. It's very short. It's got maybe three songs on it. One, is that song, which I like that it starts out with her singing it as a little girl, and then
Mm-hmm.
she fades her own voice into it, and then brings her own style of music to it. Then there's another song that's just, I think it's called like "Make Me Your Christmas Tree for Christmas" or something. That's rife with innuendos, so don't listen to that around your kids. And then another one is just kind of a blue Christmas kind of vibe to it. But and then she does another version of "Where Are You Christmas." That's a little more not as punk rocky.
Oh.
But yeah, I kind of liked it. It's definitely got a good sound. It's certainly not the kind of music I usually listen to. I my kids make fun of me, but I'm a Swiftie. So but I for what it is, I really liked it. And I'm glad to see she's found a career that, because child actors, I think, just notoriously have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I saw a clip or an interview or something with her where she was just like, everywhere I went, people called me the Grinch girl. You're the Grinch
Yep.
girl. And
Yep.
yeah, and that's hard, especially when you're trying to figure out who you are and who you want to be. And people have already decided, hey, you're the
Yeah, yeah.
Grinch
Like,
kid.
I'm not the Grinch girl. That's just a thing. It's like a job I did. Like, you remember how you delivered papers for a summer? That's the same thing. It's just millions of people saw mine.
Right. Right. I actually, and this sounds terrible, but I hadn't even thought about where she could be today until it was a few years ago, I think. She had been on the news because she was doing a concert and a bat landed on her and bit her or
Oh
something.
my.
But yeah, then I realized, they brought up like this is the actress who played Cindy Lou in The Grinch, and I'm like, are you serious? So I had to go to my old trusty Google machine to find out what her life has been like. And yeah, that's how I came across her. And I was a bit interested because it said she was a musician. And then I kind of lost interest because, I'm not really a punk rocker. Um,
Yeah,
for,
me either.
yeah, for someone who hosts the Cozy Christmas podcast, punk rock music doesn't come up very often.
Imagine not.
Yeah, unless, I mean, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. So all that to say, I had a point in bringing her up. The album, it might be worth listening to. It's like I said, only three or four songs. It's very short. It's like more of a sample. But I really liked it.
All right, I haven't heard the whole album yet, but I will.
And then just to wrap things up here, kind of coming back to the Grinch. What if somebody asks you, why should I see this? What would you tell them?
Oh, well, because it just laughs. Like it is a funny movie. Like there are
Hmm.
jokes, they work. Um Also like the world is just like it's a throwback to a time when they actually had to design a world and build it. Like there was no like, okay, computer people, make me a world. It was like, okay, we're gonna get some styrofoam, we're gonna get a bunch of Christmas decorations, we're gonna get some wood and some nails, and we're gonna build this world that you can like there's a difference. I mean, maybe this is a thing that young people were like, no, there isn't. But like, there's a difference in the way you watch the characters interacting with a real space that they can see as opposed to they're looking at a tennis ball. And I'm not knocking it because like the Marvel movies is a lot of like people looking at tennis balls and I love those things, but there is
Hmm.
something very realistic is the wrong term for a movie about a green hairy guy and a bunch of people with noses the size of a button. But
Yeah.
but they're authentic. There's something authentic about everybody's reactions to interacting with the environment and like so just on a production level it's enjoyable to watch. And just as always it's always a good message.
Hmm.
So like you got comedy, you got a visually interesting movie, and you got a great message. You need something to watch on Christmas. This is a good pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting to think how, you know, two, 2 or 3 years later, well, not even that many, a year later, you get the first Lord of the Rings films and Harry Potter movies where they really begin to rely on CGI
Mm-hmm.
coming in. So it's kind of almost like a last of its kind film in some ways.
Well, the year before, Anakin Skywalker was dealing with his CGI pod race, and like,
Hmm.
so it had already started before the Grinch.
Right, right. Looking ahead, I thought about asking the question, do you think it'll last another 25 years? And as Old Man Tim and Old Man Art get together for its 50th year anniversary.
I mean, I think so. I feel like this is one that's going to keep getting revisited. Uh, and I mean, if they ever do a sequel, I feel like it'll definitely get a resurgence in popularity
Mm,
because people are like, oh, this is so much better than the sequel. No matter what they do, no matter how, if they like, because I don't know that they actually definitely are going to do a sequel, but I know it keeps getting talked about.
hmm.
So like if a sequel comes out, the original will be get even more popular. But I feel like this is one of those ones that's going to stick around in the Christmas movie canon for years and years and years. Like It's a Wonderful Life has like um what's another really old Miracle on 34th Street. Like I think this is going to be one of those that has the staying power to be like generations from now. People still I mean, assuming
Hmm.
people are still watching movies and not just clips on TikTok by then, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they will cut it up into clips on TikTok and people will watch it that way.
Right. Right. Man, that's this movie though is kind of perfect for that TikTok audience because you can take little segments of all of his scenes and
Yep,
really have fun with it.
that's true because there's a lot of just like little bits.
Yeah, well, in some ways it's like a Monty Python movie or something, you know?
Oh yeah, that's a good
May-
comparison. I hadn't even thought about that.
I just thought about that. Yeah, maybe that's why I like it so much. So, all right. Well, we've come full circle here. We've solved the world's problems. Tell no one.
That's what we
Uh,
do.
that's right. One last question here before we go. What are you most looking forward to this Christmas, and what like traditions or memories you have that you're looking forward to, I guess, revisiting or traditions you're looking forward to?
Well, self-servingly, I'm looking forward to A Bomb for Christmas 2 coming out,
Hmm.
but I mean self-promotionally. But in
Hmm.
terms of actual celebrating with my family, I feel like we've gotten out of the habit of actually going around and looking at other people's Christmas lights,
Hmm.
um, it's just such a fun thing to do. And it's it's not. I mean, yes, gas prices are high, but other than that, it's not particularly costly. You just drive around and be like, find a good neighborhood, or not. I don't mean a good neighborhood, but I mean like
Hmm.
a neighborhood filled with good decorations, or
Hmm.
people who've really put some effort. And like there's one like 7 blocks from our house, that they do it up spectacularly every year. Like I don't know where all that stuff can possibly be 11 months of the year, because their lawn, their house, their walls, their roof, it's all covered in Christmas stuff. And it's just
Hmm.
amazing. And we haven't seen it the past 4 years.
Hmm.
So like I look forward
Yeah.
to like just going out and appreciate other people's festivities of the holidays together. And then you listen to carols in the car, you're talking, you're with your family,
Hmm.
you're seeing the beauty of other people's celebration. It's a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah. We moved to a new town this year, so I'm looking forward to doing the same and seeing how the people in this town decorate for Christmas. I have high hopes because quite a few houses went all out for Halloween this year. So I don't know if that's typical of this town or just people in general. They're doing that, having more money to spend on decorations. But one house even had like he had a graveyard, he had a smoke machine, he had a Beetlejuice animatronic out in his yard, and this other house had a 12-foot skeleton outside. It was crazy. So I'm hoping they go all out for Christmas too. I don't necessarily on the outside anyway, because I'm the one who has to put it all out and depends on what mood I'm in. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things is just to go around and look at Christmas lights. And it gives you a chance to, as a family to slow down a bit and just talk to each other. It's great.
Yeah, and sometimes you like, the kids want to have McDonald's or something, so we'll just grab it in the car and then we'll eat and drive,
Yeah,
and it's just a good time.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tim, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. I didn't want this year to go by without acknowledging one of the best Christmas movies ever made. That's a hill I'll die on. Thank you very much.
I will be there with you with your
All
flag.
right. Yeah, we'll fly our Christmas freak flag and you got it. All right. So again, Tim is the host of Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. I remembered that time. And I've got too many Christmas
I was
podcasts
like,
in my
there's
head.
thousands of them now, and everyone, like, every possible niche you could want for, like, I thought Christmas podcast was a niche. There's a niche within a niche. Like, wait,
Yeah.
do you like Japanese Christmas music? Well, there's a Christmas
Mhm.
podcast for that.
Yeah, yeah, and a good one too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's movies and all of it. So there's enough for everyone here. So
Do you like Christmas movies, but only specifically in the 80s? We got you covered.
that's right. Yeah, I only like them from the early '90s. What is? No. Well, see, we have room for more.
I was like, there's a gap in the market. Somebody step
Yep,
up.
that's right. All right. Well, Tim, thanks again. Everyone listen to his podcast. I'm sure you do. And thanks again for coming on.
Thank you again so much for having me. I've enjoyed your show for many years, and I'm glad to be a guest on it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much, Tim. I really appreciate your time again and hope that you and your family truly have a very Merry Christmas. And folks, you got to listen to his show if you don't already. It's wonderful. Well, I had hoped to put out a few more episodes in December than I have already. But just in the spirit of openness here, I've really been struggling with my mental health this past week. I know it's not always cozy to talk about, but it's the reality of my life. And so Christmas can be very difficult because there's increased stress, even if you try to remove all the stress. There's just the stress of Christmas planning and hoping everything goes well and that snow doesn't cancel your plans, or that you can find that perfect present for that special someone in your life. On top of that, you sometimes have to deal with family, which can be difficult. You might be experiencing loneliness or grief. There's just a lot that goes on. So some things that I have found to be helpful is, as difficult as it can be, you should try to set some boundaries. Learning to say no is one of the hardest things that I think anyone can learn, except for maybe the Grinch. He seems pretty good at saying no, but you don't want to come across like a Grinch. And so I totally understand that, don't be afraid to say no. This is too much. I can't do it right now. Someone else gave me this idea of creating new traditions. And I've talked a bit about traditions at Christmas time and when is it time to end some of the old ones or start new ones. Our Christmas this year is really looking to be very different, and I found that to be kind of exciting because we're right in the middle now of planning. How can we make Christmas Day special and still have Christmases with our family, extended family, our kids, all that? So we're kind of in the middle of planning that right now, and it's actually been a lot of fun. You definitely want to prioritize self-care. Get fresh air, maybe stop watching the news for a day, make sure you're getting sleep, all that stuff you hear ad nauseum, but it really does help. Yesterday I was able to just sit outside for about half an hour with Pumpkin, and the weather had warmed up to about the 40s, so I just sat out on my porch, enjoyed some fresh air and sunshine, and read a book, and it was great. Another thing I discovered is the power of laughter. If you're familiar with the play That Goes Wrong, the group that created The Play That Goes Wrong, they have several TV movies and a TV show. So Sunday night, I just happened to see on YouTube, they had a short half-hour episode out. It's from the show Goes Wrong, is what the series is called. And the episode was about the Nativity. I cannot tell you how much I laughed through that entire thing. This hapless theater company is trying to put on this nativity play, and things keep going wrong. You got fire alarms going off, you've got stage props that don't work right, and it was so funny. And I honestly haven't laughed like that in probably a couple months. It was great. I'm going to leave the link to that show in the show notes. It's on YouTube. It's free to watch there. It was so funny. And I've also watched their Christmas Carol episode, which I think came out a year or two ago. That's also just downright hilarious. Wanted to share that. Find something to laugh about. Laughter really is good medicine. And if all else fails, watch The Grinch. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and maybe go take a walk. In the show notes, make sure you check out there. You can find where Tim's podcast is at, where all the other things I've talked about are mentioned there, as well as there's some ways you can help out supporting the podcast in a financial way. And I'll send you a Christmas card and a podcast sticker. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this Christmas journey. And until next time, let's remember to honor Christmas in our hearts and try to keep it all the year. Have a very Merry Christmas.